whenever policymakers start to do policy, they run into a significant problem in that sometimes their policies aren't done in a timely fashion. So as we see here with a business cycle, we have time along the horizontal axis and GDP along the vertical axis. We see that there's these normal ups and downs in the business cycle. Unfortunately, when policymakers take a look at fixing a problem, there's three lags that get in the way of doing the policy well and getting the policy to achieve what you want it to achieve. For example, let's say that an economy finds itself right here. We're in a recession. And the problem here, of course, is that, well, GDP is going down, unemployment is going up, and that's a bad thing for everybody involved. If you notice, we haven't recognized we're in the recession until after the recession begins. And policymakers are no different than us. We say, oh no, we're in a recession, what do? That's the first problem. We have what is called a recognition lag. A recognition lag is exactly what a recognition lag says. There's a lag in time to recognize the problem exists. That's the first lag. So once we've recognized we're in a recession, we're already there. Now, something has to be done about it. So what are you going to do? Well, that's where the second lag comes in. In case you haven't noticed, Congress doesn't get things done quickly very often. And so what they have to do is they have to go and they have to debate what they're going to do to fix the recession problem. Are we going to cut taxes? Are we going to increase government spending? How much should we do? Should we do a little bit of both? And so what we have going on here is what's called a legislative lag. Okay, we realize there's a problem after the problem exists. We have to figure out what we're going to do about that. So here is the recognition. Here is the legislation. And if you'll notice, as we look at the business cycle, we're getting close to the bottom of that recession. So if we're passing policy to try to expand the economy, well, we might be starting to get into a little bit of trouble. We've recognized the problem, there's a legislative lag, and then finally there's what's called an administration lag. That administration lag is exactly what it says. It takes a little while to, once you've decided what the policy is going to be, to administer it. Sometimes this gets drug on over the course of a number of years. And so we're going to give this particular Congress the benefit of the doubt and say that they get the administration of their policy put in place to fix a recession once we're in a recovery. So what you're doing is you're trying to stimulate an economy that's already fixed itself, which means you're going to have much higher inflation than you would otherwise want. Now, of course, all of this could happen in reverse. If you're trying to cool the economy down because it's starting to overheat and inflation's going up, and then you put policy in place, whether it's fiscal policy or monetary policy. So you have your recognition lag, you have your legislative lag, you have your administration lag, and so now you're slowing down an economy that's in a recession. Policymaking is not an exact science, and this is one of the realizations we have to face when we're dealing with policy, that lags in policy come into play, and we have to deal with them as best as we can, but it's not always an easy thing.